Story 1. Everyone is giving good advice, but flirting did not click for me until I heard it described not as a set of behaviors to look out for, but as an escalation of suggestive behavior couched in plausible deniability. Put simply, if someone is doing something to engage you that feels extra, such as a lot of touching, looking at you in a way that feels a bit too long, or a lot of teasing and complimenting, then that might be flirting or it might not. The whole point is plausible deniability so they can safely disengage at any time. If you want to know whether someone is flirting, test it. Escalate slightly so that you retain plausible deniability. Touch them back in a comfortable way, maintain eye contact, or return a joking compliment. If they escalate in response and continue as you escalate, that is flirting. Eventually, one of you will break cover and do something with clear intent, such as a kiss, asking for a phone number, or directly saying you are interested. If you escalate and they do not change their behavior or they back off, they were probably just being friendly, and you should take the hint and do the same. I do not know if that was obvious to people, but it definitely was not for me, and college parties would have been much less fun if I had not known. I hope this can help someone else. Story 2. If you are in a group of friends, new or old, find a natural opportunity to hang back. Someone who is interested in you will notice and take the chance to speak with you privately. This is not foolproof, but it will at least give you an opportunity to see whether there is any chemistry between you. Story 3. Be wary of a one-sided conversation. If your responses are met mostly with yep and aha and nothing of substance, it's probably not going well. Story 4. I remember going on 9 dates with a girl who had just left a long relationship and wanted to be friends. I agreed to hang out. One night, she was dropping me off at my place after a movie. She turned the car off and put her arm on my headrest as we chatted before I got out. I was completely in the mindset that we were just friends. So I shook her hand and said goodnight. Rest in peace. Story 5. Being good at flirting also means recognizing when the other person is not receptive. If they are answering briskly and closing down the conversation, cut your losses and move on. Story 6. If they look directly at you while talking to their friend, it is a good sign. Story 7. I once read that if a person looks at you after someone else says something funny and everyone is laughing, it means they like you. From personal experience, it is true. Story 8. They make a lot of eye contact. They are interested in what you have to say and ask many questions. They laugh at your jokes, even the lame ones. They may initiate physical contact. They try to find space where you can talk more privately, which does not always mean sex, but often means they want more quality time with you. As others have mentioned, do not take these as signs that a worker is interested in you. They literally get paid to seem interested in the concerns of every customer or client. Furthermore, any one of these signs alone is not confirmation that someone likes you. Everyone flirts differently, and some people may not use any of the above. These are traits that came to mind based on my limited experience. I have never been an expert at reading signals because I was always shy, but I think the most important aspect of flirting is showing a keen interest in the other person and wanting as much one-on-one time as possible to get to know them better. Some people rush the sexual aspect of dating, which makes their flirtation more physical and obvious. For most dating adults, signals are more subtle and revealed through conversation. Story 9. Does someone spend a lot of time around you? I am terrible at flirting, but that is my method. Hang out with the person and see if you connect. Story 10. Generally, there is no single thing that gives it away. People say to look for eye contact, posture, mirroring, and so on. There is some truth to that, but no one should be expected to track every cue, and not everyone shows any particular one. Most people can sense when someone is into them, but many second-guess themselves until they convince themselves it is nothing. Trust that sense. It is based on many conscious and subconscious cues, and usually it is not a coincidence. You can test the feeling in a few ways. One subtle but effective method is to invite the person to something you know they cannot or do not want to attend. If they express interest in rescheduling or suggest another way to spend time with you, they like you. Otherwise, they will simply say, "No, sorry, I cannot make it." This works because you are showing interest in spending additional time with them. If they like you, they will make it clear they are declining the event, not you. Of course, you can also ask directly, Anyone worth being intimate with is mature enough to answer that question. Story 11. Small body language cues. If she puts her feet behind her ears, she probably likes you. Story 12. Does their body turn toward you or away from you when you speak? Do they mirror your body language? Story 13. Physical contact. Granted, not everyone flirts the same way, but a good sign is when they touch your arm or something similar, or when they smile at you the whole time you are talking to them. Update. This is my most upvoted comment. Thank you all for the awards. Story 14. Everyone is saying, eye contact. Do your friends fucking stare at the floor when they talk to you? Goddamn. Story 15. When I patted my classmate on her back and shoulder and told her she would pass her history test, she gave a slight gasp and looked straight into my eyes. Story 16. They find opportunities to talk to you more often than they need to and linger longer than necessary. Story 17. After reading all the advice in this thread, I realize I am so oblivious I would not notice these things even if I were looking for them. I really do not pick up on social cues at all. Story 18. Seriously, tell a bad joke. Look for laughter and smiles that should not be there, but are. Then it is you they are into, definitely not what you said. Story 19. One time I got the courage to look someone in the eyes and said, I need one of those hugs that turn into sex. He laughed, said, me too, and then continued the previous conversation. I thought about running face first into a wall. Edit. Okay. I came back from dinner and got so many notifications. This was just a one-off comment venting about my sad love life. This actually happened this week. I can answer a few questions before I die of sadness and embarrassment. Thanks for the awards. Edit 2. It seems that, from all the comments, 40% think he's clueless for not picking up the hint, 40% think I'm clueless for not following up his reply with a hug, and 20% think he's not into me. All fair. Story 20. According to Sherlock, signs include lip licking, eyes cast down toward the other person's lips, a quirky smile, and dilated pupils. If the person has long hair, they may tuck it behind their ear or display other fidgety behavior. Please note, I am not Sherlock and I am not good at flirting. Story 21. It really depends on who you are talking to. My advice is to be observant. Some people prefer banter. Often, when you say something witty, they respond by echoing it in a playful or opposing way or by playfully challenging your views. When it comes to touch, a subtle touch on the arm or shoulder, a pat on the head, or a smile can signal interest. Making an effort to spend time with you is also a sign. Some people are more low-key and will show a playful side only when they are alone with you. It can also be a sign if they change their demeanor from normal or serious to playful when you are alone together. I hope these help. Story 22. When people go out of their way to do something for you or say they really like spending time with you. Story 23. When someone makes sensual contact, please get flustered, or at least be mentally flustered. Do not ignore them because you have known them for a while. Do not dismiss it as a joke. Look for signals. You will regret not doing so. I have never been oblivious, but I have missed hints before. I am glad some people were as hopeless as I was, but it disappoints me that this is my top comment. Story 24. Take it from me. We were in a club she wanted to go to. She was checking the girls out and asked which one I liked. I told her the girl with her hair to one side. Now get this. Silly me noticed she put her hair to one side but thought nothing of it. I am sure she sent more hints and cues, but being a guy with poor self-worth, I brushed it all off. There was no way she was into me. I was so wrong. It took one of her guy friends telling me that she had not stopped talking about me all night to make me realize it. Hang on, she does. Long story short, if you think there is a chance, do not wait for luck to punch you in the face like it did me. Take the chance. Even if you are convincing yourself she is not into you, she probably is. Story 25. I tend to lean in a lot. If you are the person who flirts, speak a little more quietly so the other person leans toward you. This is inconvenient with coronavirus disease 2019 social distancing measures, but useful in the future. Story 26. Mirroring body language is a tactic used in sales and is not always conscious. It is a psychological disarmament technique people use on one another. When someone likes you, watch for repetitive patterns and subtly mirror their body language. If you cross your arms and the person whose attention you seek does the same, it is a good sign. That does not mean you should reposition or fidget. Being comfortable and at ease makes you more approachable. After all, acting natural is a powerful social cue. Story 27. People give a lot of cues subconsciously. Some actions are flirting for some people but simply friendly for others. Pay attention to a person's eye contact with you compared to others. If someone makes little eye contact with others but a lot with you, they are usually comfortable with you. Physical contact is significant. If someone is not generally touchy, increased touch can indicate attraction. In a group, when everyone is laughing, people often look first at the person they are most comfortable with or the person they like. Mirroring actions is important. If you think someone is into you, try a subtle action, such as putting your hands in your pockets. If they copy you, they probably like you or are paying close attention. If someone laughs at your bad joke, they either like you or felt uncomfortable. Context matters. Playing with hair can mean something, although some people do it habitually. These signs can be good indicators but can also be friendly behavior. Unless it is blatantly obvious, direct communication or asking is important. Story 28. Everybody's social cues are different. Some may be more extreme than others. Do not take content from this thread as the absolute truth. Some people are simply very friendly. Story 29. It happens when someone who is usually composed in conversation gets nervous and mixes up their words when talking to you. For example, I met a girl and her friends, who later became my friends, the night before her birthday. I did not speak much to her, but as we were leaving I wished her a happy birthday for the next day. She replied you too and then became flustered as she left the train. I watched her friends tease her on the platform. Story 30. It depends a lot on the person. In my experience, in places like bars and clubs it is kind of obvious when someone is flirting with you, but in more everyday settings you have to look for hints, such as excessive compliments or frequent glances. Story 31. I am not good at flirting, but somehow I got a boyfriend. Here are the things my boyfriend said he noticed in me. Close physical proximity, mirroring of movements, sustained eye contact, laughing at his jokes, and physical touch. These are only a few signs to look for. I hope this helps. Story 32. I've noticed that women make small adjustments, like brushing a piece of lint from your lapel or moving a stray hair from your face while talking to you. At least they did back in my rogue days. Story 33. If you are at a bar and a woman makes eye contact for more than 1 second without looking away, shoot your shot. Story 34. Reading these comments, I can say with full confidence that I have never been flirted with. I think I am going to cry. Maybe one day. Story 35. Body movement and the way you speak tell you a lot about a person, whether they are nervous or confident. People often change their speech when flirting, for example by altering their voice. Story 36. If you suddenly feel you are clicking with someone, you spend a lot of time together, they give you compliments freely, and they go out of their way to be kind or helpful, they are probably putting in the effort so they can have sex with you. Story 37. Mirroring. Take a look at your text and see if they try to use the same emojis or words as you. They might even mirror some of your mannerisms if you meet up. Well, at least that's what I tell myself. Haha. Story 38. What I have seen most. 1. Trying to get close to you or orbit around you. They will try to stand or sit near you, perhaps even hover a bit. 2. Using any reasonable opportunity to touch you, such as throwing an arm around your shoulder or touching the small of your back. Hugging a little too tightly or for too long. 3. Taking a notable interest in talking with you and not really anyone else in the room or area. 4. Complimenting you over things that are somewhat arbitrary, for example saying you are brave for doing something that is not even scary or difficult. They take any chance they can to make you feel good. 5. Asking you to hang out in public outside of where you normally meet, for example school or work. If they ask you to get coffee or try a food place with them, it could be a sign they are trying to spend alone time with you and push further into your life. 6. Hanging around to leave at the same time as you. They may pretend to look at their phone or take a long time packing their bag, but consistently start leaving when you do so they can talk with you on the way out. All of these could be signs of friendship for some people, so it is not foolproof. However, these are things I use to flirt or that have been used on me. Story 39. Eye contact. Who breaks contact first? Are they constantly looking around or behind you? Physical touch. Try touching their arm or leg and watch their response. Do they back away, shift, or move closer to you? Smiling. Are they smiling at you or frowning? Other signs. Making physical contact, mentioning future plans together, talking about sex or kissing, or winking at you. Story 40. If a girl you're friendly with compliments your jeans and belt combination at a bar, is that a sign? Story 41. Here is a useful anti-tip. If you cultivate a persona of being oblivious to flirting, you never have to let anyone down because you can just play dumb. It has saved me many friendships over the years, and I am the only one who knows I am not actually oblivious. Also, guys, notice these signs. She touches you lightly at random times. She glances at your lips in one-on-one situations. She pretends she wants to fight you or actually does so playfully, especially in a pillow fight. She laughs at what you say a lot, often with giggles. Story 42. Girls will lock eyes, play with their hair, or touch their forearm. They may laugh and touch you lightly. Never read these signs as a done deal, but they can mean you are doing something right. Story 43. I have always felt that women give a quick scan of you, then smirk with their eyes. Story 44. I once scrolled through a similar thread and someone wrote, I am paraphrasing, when girls like a guy, they tend to raise their pitch when talking to him. Some poor fellow replied, well, that explains why every girl I talk to sounds like Christian Bale playing Batman. Needless to say, my drink splattered the wall in front of me. Story 45. People imitate what they like. For example, when I hug a certain person, I give them 2 or 3 small scratches on the back. They have recently started doing the same to me more often. I will let you know if we start dating. Check back next week. Story 46. When you are bad at flirting, it is not that you do not see the signals. It is that you do not interpret them correctly, or you convince yourself it cannot possibly mean that when you recognize a signal for what it is. At its root, it is a confidence issue. It is not fixable by other people being more obvious or knowing what to look for. You need to fix yourself. Story 47. If she keeps mentioning her husband, it's usually a bad sign. Story 48. If you are interested in a man and are not sure whether he likes you, strike up a conversation while standing and notice whether his feet point toward you when you part ways. I learned this in my general psychology class but cannot remember the specifics or whether it works for women. I do not think it does. Apparently, if he is interested, a man will naturally orient his body toward you. Story 49. A glance and a little smirk if we're across the room. Then a bit of giggling and small touches on your arm. If I'm really interested, I'll most likely ask for your number before you do. I like to keep people on their toes. Story 50. If we touch your arm, it's a sign. If we make frequent direct eye contact, it's a sign. If you catch us sneaking glances, it's a sign. If we text you, make an effort to be around you, or alter part of our daily schedule to be near you, it's a strong sign. Story 51. The only surefire way is to observe whether they behave differently toward you in a positive way than they do toward their friends. If she makes much more eye contact with you than with her other male friends, she is flirting with you. If he makes much less eye contact with you than with his other female acquaintances, he is flirting with you. This requires careful observation over time, so it is not appropriate for every situation, but it is a reliable method if you suspect a friend likes you. Story 52. Honestly, there is no trick to it. You just have to roll well on your sense motive check. Story 53. If someone touches your arm when talking to you, points their feet toward you in a group, or leans in to tell you a joke or say something, and that lean is not something they do with anyone else, it can indicate interest. Loud clubs and other very noisy places are excluded, obviously. If they linger a second too long near you when the group moves, such as when getting seated or moving to a new venue, that can be another sign. If they tell a joke to the group and glance your way to gauge your reaction, they are signaling for attention. Also, handing you things such as your purse or your drink, which you could easily collect yourself, can be a sign. Note: be careful when passing drinks. Obviously, use your common sense and never leave drinks unattended. Story 54. I'm a therapist who worked my way through school as a bartender. One clear cue that someone is interested in you is playing with their hair, especially if it is longer. It is a subconscious way of making oneself appear more attractive. You may even notice it in yourself when flirting on the phone or online. Story 55. There used to be a show on Video Hits 1, known as VH1, that helped men learn to flirt. The host was a relationship expert who knew how to read a room and what women respond to. He would perform tasks to show the participants it was possible to start a conversation and get a phone number or spark interest. He taught that there are telltale signs of a woman's interest. One major sign is when a woman plays with her hair while talking to you. This self-grooming often means she is trying to look presentable and may be interested. Do not assume you have won at that point. Continue the conversation and seek clear consent before any physical contact. A light touch on the arm after a joke can get a reaction. Later, if she agrees, asking to see her hands and briefly holding them can be a gentle trust exercise. Always make eye contact and have funny personal stories ready. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.